And we're back in.
Welcome back to People Staring at Maps.
2. Yeah, well done everyone for making it this far. That's one episode down, 212 to go. So one thing I was just thinking, right, so we've sent all 3 of our diplomats. The one who was sent to Lithuania last episode, if you'll remember, where we just tried allying Lithuania. I reckon we should probably send
I can remember what we were doing. It was all that time ago.
Yeah. I might just release all these as one big session. There's no point in drip feeding this. It's like, I've got a massive van full of sewage, but I'll only let you have a tiny bit of sewage every few days. I'm just going to release it all in one foul swoop, and then people can just binge.
Steve stares at maps for 10 hours.
Has
put
hard
10
on
hours
for 8.
in anything.
So anyway. We're trying to ally to Lithuania. Great. One thing that we can do with a diplomat is to embargo our rivals. Now, I have already forgotten who our rivals are. Our rivals are Novgorod, Scotland, and Poland. Cool. So, what I would like to do is press W and switch to the trade map mode.
Oh, God.
I know.
Oh, there's so many numbers. And the arrows are moving.
Yep.
Oh, every single one of these has like 5 flags under it.
Yep. So,
I never understood this way back when. This is way more complicated now. Right, tell me what's happening here.
So each province has a trade value.
Got it.
Click on a province. Let's look at Lund, for example. Left click.
Where's Lund?
Oh, sorry. Just right of our capital. I'll click on any province, doesn't matter which.
I've clicked on Lund.
In the bottom right of the Lund province view, you can see fish.
Yeah.
That's the province's trade good. So, a province will produce that trade good. If you look over on the left, you've got goods produced, 3.19.
Yep.
So what that is it's multiplying the development of the province by the trade. It's to do with the production value of the province. Doesn't matter where the number comes from. Basically, that fish is is coming from Lund, and its value is 7.97. That's the value of the trade goods in Lund.
Yeah.
Okay. If you click on a trade node, such as the Lübeck node, which is just southwest of us, that Lübeck node is our home node. You can see it's our main trading port. There's a little funny thing at the top of the tooltip. That's
trading port. Great.
Yeah, because our home nation's main city of trade is in that area.
Yep.
So that's its node. So the trade node local value, if you just hover over that 5.29, is the trade value. Oh, sorry. In when you click on the trade line.
Oh yeah, local.
Local 5.29. That is the monthly value of all the provinces belonging to that trade node. So Lund, as you can see at the top, is giving 0.66 ducats a month to that trade node. So that's
Lund is actually by far the most valuable.
Well, when I hover over Lund, it's got a special thing saying Skane Market, local goods produced plus 1.5.
Oh, yeah.
It had a great big modifier on it, which I'd never seen before, so that's good. So that's the trade. So that's the trade value in that node. It's 5.29 worth. Now there's some outgoing and there's some incoming, but we'll get to that. So that's the local trade value, okay? And that's based on the provinces in that node. There is a map mode that shows you which provinces are in which node, but I can't remember what it is. Oh no, we're on it. If you zoom out far enough, you can see.
Yeah, so this
I was
is
just
Lübeck
thinking red. Yeah, so
area.
all that reddy pink colour is the Lübeck area. So
cool.
That's that. Now there's something called trade power, which is the influence that each country or each nation has over that node.
Oh, I see this pie chart.
You can see a pie chart there, yes.
Oh, and that's us with 22% of the trade power.
Yes, correct.
Great.
That comes from many different sources. It mainly comes from having provinces in that node. If you click back on Lund, you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner, there is the trade power that contributes. So that contributes us having 5.8 trade power in the Lubeck node. And all of our other ones that we control have the same effect. And it's linked to province development as well. So the more development you have, the better the trade power will be. You've also got, if you click on the Lubeck node again, you've also got incoming. Now that is trade value. So the trade value that you have there. So imagine now that we're looking. We need to downstream is propagating. How does it work again? One sec. What's downstream? So downstream of that, for example, is the English Channel.
Yeah.
If you follow that, that's downstream. So value is flowing from Lubeck into the English Channel. That's where the money's going. Okay, I'll get to what that is, but ignore that arrow for now. That's downstream. Having provinces downstream of a node. So, for example, if we owned anything in that English Channel node, say Kent, say we owned Kent, having that province there, if you click on Kent, you've got a trade power of 4.5.
Yeah.
20% of that trade power is applied upstream, not 20%, sorry, a number equivalent to 20% of that is applied upstream. So say we owned Kent, we'd have an extra about 1% trade power in Lubeck.
Oh, and this is why England has a load of trade power in Lubeck, even though they don't have any actual provinces in that sphere.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And in fact, you can see
And similarly, if we went upstream from Lubeck to
Baltic Sea,
and even up, then we have a load of trade power there.
Yeah.
And if we went even further up to Krakow,
no,
we don't have any.
No, because it's only before that's added. So it's provincial trade power that goes upstream. So trade power from owning a province that goes upstream.
It's not sort of transitive. It doesn't keep flowing upstream.
So say we had Kent, that would be provincial power going up to Lubeck, but then the number is taken before that. So yeah.
Got it.
Cool. Then you've got light ships. So you can send our light ships. If you click on our fleet, second fleet, there's a little. That's the fleet of 3. There's a mission button. The little envelope in the bottom right.
Yeah.
Click on that. There's only one mission at the moment because I don't have very much DLC.
It's trade.
And that's protect trade. So what that does is it will send. Well, in fact, you can click it, and then it asks you which nodes that you have trade power in would you like to protect trade in.
Okay.
And having a ship in a trade node that you have trade power in gives you +2 to your trade power per ship. So the one that you want more trade power in is best to send your light ships to.
Okay.
And if you hover over send, it actually tells you the total change from maintenance and how much trade value you'll get from it and everything. It tells you what the profit will be.
So it looks like we want to send them to the Baltic Sea.
Yes, but as soon as they get there, everything will change.
Okay.
So I don't really know. I'm happy to send them to the Baltic Sea and then see how it goes.
Seems as good a guess as we've got, right?
Yeah. And also click Go Home at War. That in the top right. That'd be good to do.
Oh yeah.
Have you sent them to Baltic Sea then?
Yes, I have now.
Cool. Great.
But they're coming home at war.
Yeah, that's good. So that's that. So trade power, which is your influence over a node, comes from having provinces in that node, downstream nodes propagating upstream, light ships on missions in that node, and finally, if it's your home node, which Lubeck is for us, you get an extra 5 trade power there.
Yep.
Just you do.
Your home node meaning where your capital is.
Yeah, so in the table in that Lubeck node screen, you've got us at the top with 74 trade power over on the right. Hover over that. It'll tell you we get 62.3 from our provinces. Our main trade city is in that area. Gives us an extra 5.
Yeah, got it.
Cool. And for some reason it's multiplied by 1.1 due to plus 10% trade power modifier in this node. And I don't know why that is, but I'm sure we can find it somehow.
Be some special thing.
Some special thing. And then finally, having a merchant collecting from trade, you can see there's a big button that says send merchant collect from trade. That will give an extra 2 trade power in that node.
Yep.
However, if you collect from a node in any node that isn't your home node, so if we went anywhere but Lubeck with our merchant to collect from trade, it would halve our trade power in that node. So we probably won't want to be doing that.
Yeah, we probably just want to send him to our home node.
Yep, we have 2 merchants, and I'll tell you what we'll be doing with the other one, because there's something called transferring trade power. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of a misnomer, actually. Okay, so we can send a merchant to collect from trade, and what happens with that is he will use our trade power in there to work out what proportion of the trade value we get from that node. So out of those total 5.29 and whatever's income, 3.27, out of all that, we will get a proportional, there's a system, but we'll get a proportional amount of that based on our trade power.
Got it.
So probably about quarter, but it's a bit different from that, and I'll explain. So this is the trade episode. Okay, there's another thing you can do. Click on the North Sea node, for example. You'll probably be able to find that.
Yep, that's
because
downstream.
It's not our home node, we can transfer trade power. And what that does is you can see there's a line with arrows coming out and round through the sort of North Denmark and then down into the Lubeck node. And above that line of arrows is a 1.11 ducats being sent forwarded to Lubeck, and we can see that's Norway doing that. So Norway has...
Can we see that's Norway doing
There's
that?
a tiny flag just under that 1.1.
Oh, I see.
Which again you can hover over. I fucking love the tooltips in this game. So, North Sea. Clicked on that node. What we've got there is we can now collect from trade there, which would halve our trade power and we'd only get a small amount, or we can transfer trade power. Now really what that means, that should say transfer trade value, but ignore that.
Okay.
So basically what transferring does is it does the same sort of thing as collecting. It will apply, based on your trade power in that node, it will take some of the value there and push it downstream into the Lubeck node, so it will steer it, essentially.
Okay.
And Norway is applying 30.9 power in their direction, if you hover over their flag there, and that's equating in 1.11 ducats. So that explains part of the incoming in the Lubeck node, and you can see that North Sea is coming in at 1.11, Baltic Sea is coming in at 1.49, etc, 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 etc.
Wait, where do you see that?
I've gone back to the Lubeck node and clicked on it.
Oh, yep.
And then hovered over incoming.
Yes.
So there's local and incoming. Those are the 2 ways that trade value comes into a node. And then outgoing is exactly the opposite of that. That's someone steering away. So if we look at the Lubeck node, in fact, and you can see there's 1.16 coming out of it, it's being sent forward to the English Channel.
Which is the only downstream node.
Which is the only downstream node, and that's just natural anyway. No one's actually applying their trade power to do that.
Okay.
It would seem. Yet. But I'd imagine England will probably start doing that.
And if they did, that would be bad for us.
Yeah, because it's taking money out of the Lubeck node and going into the English Channel node, which is where England has their home.
It's somewhere where we have much less trade power.
Yeah, and therefore we'll be drawing less money.
Right.
Yeah, none at all. So... I can very quickly go over how the amounts... In fact, yeah, that's quite quick. So you can see retained trade value there. Basically, in doing a calculation each month...
Sorry, where's retained trade value?
On the Lubeck node, it's the green and red pie chart.
Yeah.
So there are 2 stages to determining how much money is in a node and how much money leaves it, and then how much money is collected by each nation. So the first stage is it works out how much stays and how much goes. So it takes the trade power of everyone. So everyone who's chosen to collect, we're collecting automatically, by the way. Anyone whose main port is in that node, such as us, even though we don't have a merchant collecting there at the moment, is automatically collecting money from it. So is Pomerania, so is Norway, Sweden, everyone. So they're just automatically getting money from it. If you send a merchant there to collect, I think it's an extra 10% modifier, so you'll increase that amount.
Yeah.
So that's why there's so many people collecting. So it will work out the trade power of all the people collecting in that node, which is 86%, and compare it to the... So yeah, it'll compare it to the total, and then you've got 14% of people steering away or being pulled into the English Channel. So once it's worked that out, it applies all of the trade power of people who have trade power here and are steering it. So for example, England do have trade power there because of that. Because of the fact that they have provinces downstream. It's propagating upstream and they have trade power there, and therefore, because they're not collecting there, it's transferring down to them.
It's just because they're not collecting?
Yes, specifically.
Yeah, okay.
So, that's stage 1. Stage 2, and then it works out the retained value and the transferred value. Transferred's in red, retains in green. Then it goes to stage 2, and stage 2 is it goes, right, so out of all the people who are collecting, so out of that green percentage, that green chunk, the trade power is applied proportionally again. So for example, if we're collecting in this node, we will get 22% of what's green there. And England will get 8% of, because they have 8% of the trade. No, they don't. Sorry, that's a lie. If they were collecting, they would get 8% of the trade power, but they're not, so they're not included in that calculation. The second bit of that calculation is it will work out how much where it's transferred to. So in this case, there's only one direction. If you go to the North Sea node, for example, and this could be useful for us.
If I go to the North Sea node,
there are 2 directions in which it can travel. Norway is applying it to steer it towards the Lubeck node, and it appears that England is trying to steer it down into the English Channel.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. So what they've done there is that red value, 56% of trade power, it's working out there are 2 people steering there, which means that there are presumably 2 people who have merchants there steering it, transferring it.
How do we know there are 2?
Just by the flags. At the moment, this is me guessing. A bit.
Oh yeah, because there's one going downstream and one going the other way downstream. Yeah. So the 2 people are England and Norway.
There you go. Yeah, in the first column of the English Channel node, you can see there's caravans and stuff. Those 2 are applying their trade power. They have merchants applying their trade power there. Oh, so they are actively steering it. So if they have a merchant there, then they get a percentage proportional to their trade power in that node. So England is 20% trade power in that node. Actually, that's not entirely true. They have 48 trade power, and they would be compared with Norway's trade power, which is less, 30. So the 48 and the 30 are compared together, and they get transferred in the direction of their choice, that percentage.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there are lots of stages, and that's how the competition works, and that's how it eventually all works out. So there is transference, and there is collecting, and having a merchant there. So they can only actively... They only... Yeah, that's one thing to note. So having your trade power there to steer doesn't require a merchant. It will, in the first calculation where it determines how much trade value there is retained and sent, that calculation is just done based on trade power.
Okay.
The calculation where it decides where it's sent to requires having a merchant there. So the second stage requires having a merchant. So say England didn't have their merchant there, it would all go into Lubeck.
Okay. And when you say it would all go, you mean a chunk of it they would collect?
The amount that has been determined as transferable will be going that way, yes.
Yeah, okay. the merchants are just used to decide where the transferable stuff goes.
Yes.
That is, merchants that are selected for transfer trade power.
Yes.
But the amount that is kept upstream versus sent downstream is determined by the trade power of nations. Yes, it's determined by the different nations' trade power.
Yes.
And the ones that want it to go downstream will send it downstream?
Yes.
But how do they choose that? Could we choose to send our Lubeck stuff downstream?
It's automatically transferred to your... Oh, you mean if we... No, we can't choose to send it away from our home node.
Okay. But if we wanted to, what would we... Is there a...
I don't even think it's possible.
Oh, so I'm looking... I'm trying to find an example of us making that choice.
Clicking on the Lubeck node and having the options for your merchant, there's only collect from trade, whereas in the North Sea we can do either.
Yep. But even without sending a merchant, in the North Sea we can choose whether we want to send stuff downstream or just collect it, right?
Oh, I see. No, it will always try and take the shortest route to your home node.
Got it.
If you don't choose to do anything in that node.
Okay, or it will just collect it. It will be retained if it is already your home node.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so the amount of the trade value which is retained is equal to the trade power, is proportional to the trade power of countries for which this is their home node.
Yes.
Cool, okay. Yeah, so at the North Sea, 44% of the trade power is from countries whose home node is North Sea.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that's sort of how it works. There's lots of flowing, there's lots of nodes, and you'll see, for example, that the English Channel is an end node, so nothing can be transferred from there. There are like four. I think there's Venice is one, Goa is one.
And therefore nobody can have... Is that right? Nobody can have any trade power over it except those who have it as their home node.
Correct, because there's nothing downstream. No, not true. Not true. If we sent a merchant
Norfolk
there,
or something, we'd have something.
Yeah. If we had provinces there, we'd have something. If we sent our merchant there, that would give us 2 trade power.
Yep.
That's
but because it's a terminal, because it's a terminal node, we can't transfer trade power. We can only collect from trade.
Yeah, these lines aren't dynamic. These flowing arrows, they are just set up. That's
set
how
in
they
stone.
go.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have said that earlier. I remember I was confused over that. And then there's a load of modifiers like trade efficiency, trade steering, global trade power, mercantilism, so on and so forth. But the main reason about me talking to you about this is embargoes. That was what I was going to say.
Okay.
I want to embargo one of our rivals with the with the diplomat who's returning. We'll place our merchants in a second, but the diplomat who's returning, I want to embargo our rival because that gives us trade power and it gives us power projection. And it also means that our rival will be losing out on trade power in that node based on half of our trade power in that node.
Okay.
Which is great because we don't want our rival to be getting lots of trade power. We want them to have no money.
Yeah, okay, so sorry, what's the thing that we're thinking of doing?
If you right click, for example, on would that work? Yeah, if you right click on Poland and scroll down the diplomatic actions down to economy actions.
Economy actions, yep.
We can't currently do this, but because we don't have a diplomat free, he's coming back.
Issue an embargo.
Issue an embargo. That happens in nodes where we both have trade power. So we'd have to make sure, we'd have to make it work. Maybe it would be better to do it to Scotland because we definitely both have trade power in, say, the North Sea. Or perhaps to... England's not our rival, are they? No.
No. We decided not to.
Bugger. Or indeed Novgorod in the Baltic Sea.
In the North Sea.
Yeah. Yeah, so we could issue an embargo against Scotland, and then what that would do is look at the trade power they have in the North Sea, which is 43.
18%.
Yep, 43. And
Oh, yeah.
how much do we have? Denmark has 12. So we would be... so take half of 12 is about 6.24 or something. That's how much they would lose trade power in that node as a result. So it's not amazing. It'd be better to embargo someone who's in our node where we have shit tons of trade power, 74 to be precise. But
Yep.
So what do you reckon?
For example, Hamburg, who have loads of trade power in our area.
Yeah.
But it's better to do this to a rival, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, otherwise they'll hate you.
I'm trying to find our rivals.
So Novgorod doesn't have any trade power in the Baltic Sea. We don't have any trade power in the Novgorod trade node. Poland, they must have some trade power somewhere. No, they don't. I think Scotland would be our only person to do this to then, because everyone else is landlocked and we don't have access to inland nodes yet.
We do it.
Yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's embargo Scotland. That's hilarious.
Fuck you, Scotland.
Yeah, well, we'll have to do it when the diplomat
Fuck
returns.
you.
So the whole point of that was me saying in 10 days, and then I launch into a 26.5-minute tirade about trade. But now you know what trade is, and I think that's really important.
I've just never known any of that.
I think it's really cool as well, the trade system in this. It's so dynamic, and it updates on a monthly basis as well.
Okay.
So, we're still not unpaused. Right, finally, merchants, that was the other thing. So we've got one collecting in the... Oh, no, sorry. So if you hover over in the outliner on the right-hand side, Baltic Sea, Casper Högberg is transferring trade power in the Baltic Sea. So he's sitting out there in the Baltic Sea. Let me go back to the trade mode. There it is. And he's transferring. There you go. We've got a tick on that transferring thing. We are currently transferring 1.49 towards Lübeck. I like that. I think that's useful to have. Seems like a decent node to be doing that in.
Is it though? Because
would it be better in the North Sea?
It's the only downstream node of the Baltic Sea, isn't it?
What is, sorry? Oh, Lübeck.
Lübeck is the only downstream node, so in fact, the fact that he's steering it towards Lübeck does nothing. Right? Because it's not going to go anywhere else. Does transfer trade power increase the amount that is decrease the amount that is retained?
Hover over the 1.49. Sorry, I was slightly telling a lie there. 100% of power sends trade in this direction. So, as a matter of course, a certain amount will be going in that direction. Based on the provinces and stuff in it. 19.9% of power is used to draw trade on. I don't understand that, but that's fine. But there you go. Denmark increases the outgoing value by 5.4%.
Okay.
So we're not making a huge difference there. Presumably because our trade power in that node is fairly low. Yeah, 8% in that node. Not great.
Yeah. Oh, but so having our merchant there is decreasing the retained trade value.
Correct. And making sure that more is going down into Lübeck.
Even though it's not increasing our trade power.
Correct.
Okay, so the retained trade value is not just about
trade
power.
The retained trade value is not just about trade power. Yes, it is. It's based on, again, if you hover over the green part of the pie chart.
Yeah.
80% of the trade power of nations that have provinces there. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Sorry, yeah. The people who have provinces there and therefore are collecting, for example, Sweden, Teutonic Order, Riga, Livonian Order, they are 80% of that, and 20% is anyone who's wanting to steer it.
Yeah, including us.
Including us.
And
whether they're doing it with a merchant or not.
So that determines the amount of trade value that is transferred downstream.
Correct, yeah.
Compared to the amount that's retained.
Correct,
So what I'm saying is our merchant is not affecting that at all, is he?
Yes. If you hover over in the first column next to Denmark, you've got the caravan thing. Hover over that for a couple of seconds. Having a merchant here gives +2 trade power.
Just having him there gives
correct,
trade power.
And it would do for collecting as well.
So that is actually increasing our trade power, having a merchant there.
And we are sending our ships there to protect trade there. So they will each. So that will increase our trade power there by 6. So in fact, that's going to go up by another nearly 50%. So that's good. You know, that's we're putting our eggs in one basket. So our final merchant, I would say, just collect from the Lubeck trade node. To be honest, I think that's going to be best value for money. He will improve the amount we get from there, and also provide trade power there.
Yeah, so he'll increase our trade power, which is good because that means that
By a small amount.
Which means that slightly more of it will be retained.
Yeah, but the main thing. Sorry, yeah. The main thing is that he will, I believe, he will use your trade power. You can do it. Yeah, best way to do it is just to click it and see what happens. I'm going to click it, and his name is Erik Lillenskold. He will arrive in 2 days. Can I unpause it for 2 days to get to that?
Why not?
Oh god, pop-ups. Lithuania accepted the military alliance. Fantastic stuff.
Result.
Right. So we now have a merchant there.
Yep. Oh, I see. Denmark has a merchant here collecting from trade. The merchants of Denmark collect. The merchants of Denmark collect.
That's merchants with a lowercase m.
Yep. Oh yeah, people from Denmark collect 1.92 from this trade node. Out of this, they managed to create an income of 2.21 to the state. Okay, and we've got some extra trade power. Even before. Oh, so really, I want to see incoming? No, I want to see how much we get from all this.
We are getting 2.21.
Yes. Okay. In total.
Ah, there we go. Right. Okay. Fantastic. I'm on it. Where that little house was, two stages to the right, you've got 2.21 in the table.
Aha. Yes. Trade power share 26%. So we get 26% of any money that comes of any money that's retained by Lubeck.
Yeah, and then the actual income. So this is all just abstract money at the moment. But the actual income is being increased by 10% because there's a merchant there. And for some reason we've got a technology that adds 5%. That's nice.
I'm just thinking, but before we had that merchant there, how much were we getting?
10%.
Because we're now getting 2.21. Okay, so we were getting
I think it was about 2.0 or something like that. 2.01. Yeah. It's increased it by 10%.
So basically we're getting a quarter of the retained trade value.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 7.4 is being retained. And we were getting about a quarter of that, because we have about a quarter of the trade value, the trade power. But we get a bonus because we've got a merchant, and we get a bonus from technology.
Yeah.
Right. I think I'm going to
that was really useful for me as well, because I'd learned all this like 3 days ago, but explaining it has brought up some hang-ons and things like that. So that's really
you never
helpful.
really understand something till you explain it to someone.
Yeah. So we could always choose instead to move everything from the Baltic Sea into the North Sea and just have trade protected and transferred to and from there. But let's leave it in the Baltic for now, rather than the North Sea.
Yeah.
I like that. Cool. Hoi. So, also, light ships are the only ones that can do the protecting trade. Galleys can't. Even though they're functionally equivalent, they just can do stuff on the inland seas. Just ignore that. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
Right. Are we able to unpause yet? What is the
think
state?
so.
I think we're there, aren't we? Should we just go?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got these rebels to look for. Right, okay, we're moving into Gunga already. So that's good.
I'm unpausing. Get ready.
You unpause, yes. Oh, you might not be able to because I'm the host and I've paused it.
Oh, right.
So I can.
So I can't override
Right, hang on.
that.
You pause. When I unpause, you pause.
Yep.
I can unpause that, but and so can you.
Oh.
So you can't unpause my pauses. I'm the big Dom, but that's fine. I'm Storpy, motherfucker.
Can you unpause this now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I put it to speed 3
It might
as well.
be helpful if I could.
I don't think you can. I was looking through settings.
fair
And I
enough.
don't think you can.
I'm merging our armies.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
too
you've
late.
done it.
I hate unmerged armies. I have to merge them.
Yeah, me too.
Right. So the first thing I'd like to look at is our money, because currently we're losing money, according to that thing in the top left. So F14. Okay. Total income, that's probably going to go up on the 1st of next month, I'd imagine, because we've just done a bit of collecting trade and doing stuff like that. And that'll update next month. However, advisors are costing us. State maintenance we can't do much about. Fort maintenance. Now, we've got 3 fortresses at full maintenance. I don't think we need those when we're not at war.
Okay. Can we turn that off, though?
Yeah, either normal map mode. You've got those little castle icons. One on Kolding, Sjælland and Lund. And I think there's one on Gotland as well, actually, which has been sieged down. Or actually, there's a good fort mode, which is very helpful, which I think I put as... Oh, this is ridiculous.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Oh, there we go. T. Sorry, T. One of the T's. There's supply limit and fort. There we go. And the forts show you where a fort is and its zone of control around it.
Okay.
And hovering over tells you what those things are. So the zone of control are the dashed lines.
Yeah, I see.
And don't get me to explain zone of control. It's changed loads and it's really complicated. It just means you can't move into somewhere that has got a fort or into its zone of control until you've gone out of it and come... I can't remember. Something like that.
Fine, so three of our
if you see dodgy movement going on, basically you want to siege down forts because then you get access through lands. Yeah, we've got all of those. I'm going to go back to W. If you click on that province, just left click, you've got a little tick button down where you've got the fort. It's got fort level with a 2 on it, near the bottom. I'm on Lund, for example.
I'm on Lund.
Down
I
there,
see. Oh yeah.
Next to no
fort
objective.
level 2.
Just above that is this fortress is fully maintained, and you can untick it, which is mothballing the fort, or the short key is H.
Cool.
So doing that has depleted the garrison, and if we want it to come back, we need to turn it on quite early so that the garrison can start coming back. It doesn't just come back immediately; it recovers.
Okay. I've turned them all off.
Cool. We have a capital fort in Sealand, and I can't remember how they differ, but there you go.
Oh yeah. Whatever.
And we can't mothball the fort in Gotland because it's under siege or it's been occupied. Cool. So that's going to save us some money. F14. Fort maintenance is now half. That's great. Colonial maintenance.
Obviously, army maintenance we can basically turn off once we're done with these rebels, unless we want to attack Ursel, which I guess we do.
Yeah, I think it takes a few months for army morale to go back up. I can't remember what the recovery rate is. Oh, there you go. Recovers 20% of its maximum morale each month currently. That army. I've seen that by clicking on the army and looking at the morale bar in the top left. So that's good. Yes. So it will take 5 months to go from 0 to full when we want to attack. Yeah. So let's just do that in advance. Cool. So we want to keep them. And finally, rooting out corruption is costing us 0 at the moment because we have no corruption. And fleet maintenance we want to have because otherwise, I guess, our ships... Oh, I suppose we could turn that off, couldn't we?
Yeah, it's just about morale penalty, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't need that. Screw it. Put it down.
Goodbye, fleet maintenance.
Saving us 0.4 a month. Okay, fine. Cool.
Be worth it.
Yeah. I think that's good. So we'll be making a bit more money now. Anyway, sorry, unpause. It's going to be a long game if I keep doing that. Right, the month is updated and we are still losing 1 a month.
And we have a royal marriage offer from Lithuania.
Oh yeah, up in the top left. I need to set those to come up on the middle of the screen, but I don't know how.
We'll take that, right?
Royal marriage offer from Lithuania. Yeah, well, I mean, they're our ally. I'm very happy to. We don't currently have an heir, do we? So, yeah, very happy to do that.
Go.
Improve the relations with them.
Yeah.
I wonder, because that didn't disappear for me. I wonder what would happen if I'd clicked decline. And you clicked accept. I wonder which one of us it would listen to. Probably whoever did it last or first. I don't know.
First, I'd have thought.
Let's just always do the same thing.
Do you like to have the speed so high?
I don't really mind. I can put it down to 2.
2 might be a
Oh,
bit
shit,
better.
sorry. 2. You can
Especially
probably
when
change
there's
it as
armies
well
lying around.
with the plus and minus keys on the
No,
number
only the
pad.
host can change the game speed. What do you
lol.
know?
We've just got a pop-up. That's why I paused it. Christopher
I can't see
III
it.
embarrasses the court. The Arch-King committed an absolute faux pas today in front of the court and a few foreign dignitaries. The repercussions of this will take years to repair. We have one option, which is blame the Arch-King, and we lose 1 stability, which is a shocking...
Oh, we just have to do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you
man.
probably got that.
Yep, black news indeed.
Losing confidence to your government, leading to a stability drop. Some superstitious fools even suggest that our country is losing divine favour. So, mousing over stability, let's see what happens. Global trade power's gone down.
We can soon boost stability. In fact,
has gone
in less
down.
than 2 months we can boost it using our administrative power.
Oh, I see. I don't want to do that. Because I want administrative power to be spent on coring land and getting technologies and all sorts of wonderful
I
things.
suppose.
But Jesus, -1, that's bad. +2 national unrest. Does that mean in every province we now have 2 unrest?
I think so.
Yeah, it does. Bloody hell. Right, unpaused. By the way, if you're ever fed up with me pausing, just shout. And I'll unpause it. Auto-saving. So, can you see that little green progress bar underneath the rebels?
Yes.
It's showing us when they're going to move.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Excellent.
One thing I'll do before we do that, actually, is our army. We don't have a leader. Yes.
Yeah, we don't have any leaders at the moment.
And they currently do. They've got a 2111 leader, if you mouse over their army.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of scary. So, it would be really handy to have one.
I think we should send our idiot of a leader. I think we should send the Arch-King.
Do you reckon?
Well, maybe.
Does his military skill affect his combat skills? I don't know.
Surely.
Should do, shouldn't it?
But he's 28, he's a young go-getter.
We don't have an heir. If we die, I think that's all over for us for this entire campaign, right?
No.
I've never seen someone die in this.
Yeah, no, I think in EU4, if you're... Like, we're just playing as the country, right? I don't think we can lose by...
On Monarch's death, there we are. If you mouse over our age, a noble from House Jagiellon succeeds to the throne. Because of a... I don't know who that is. Jagiellon.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so someone would succeed the throne anyway.
Yeah. Would it be the same as the throne of Sweden-Norway? I assume it would be.
Who knows? I would probably rather have a regular general for the moment. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Who wants to click the button? Who's luckiest? It's going to cost us 50 military points, but that's fine.
50 military points.
Ooh. Hang on. I'm going to untick that button on the screen on the left. Automatically raise maintenance during war. Or shall we keep it activated? Army and fleet maintenance will automatically be raised and your forts will be activated when you enter war. We're wanting to do it before we enter war, aren't we? So we shouldn't need it.
Don't know.
Okay, I'm going to untick it. I'm going to remember. Right, go on then. Recruit a general.
Bam. Okay.
It's a...
Paul Bernstorff.
Oh dear.
These Bernstorffs are everywhere. Oh, he's a good leader.
Well, I don't know. So my understanding is that combat has 2 phases: fire and shock. Then fire and shock ad infinitum, rather. If you look at the units we've got there, the Latin medieval infantry and Latin knights, you can see they've got a modifier. So infantry has a 0.35 in the fire phase and a 0.5 in the shock phase. So they do more damage in the shock phase.
Where are you seeing that?
Oh, so sorry. In their table, just to the right of where it says their unit names. We might not be on the same screen. So F1.
I'm just seeing 1,000.
F1 dot. Sorry, F1 comma.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
We were on different menus. That's probably why you didn't know what I was
looking
talking
at the
about.
army.
Oh, okay. So yeah, There you go. Latin medieval infantry has, in the fire phase, that column, 0.35 modifier, and in the shock phase, they do more damage. They have 0.5 modifier. Latin knights, which is our cavalry, do fuck all in the fire phase and 1 in the shock phase. So shock is really important, and the fact that our leader has no shock value and therefore is not helping us in rolls in the shock phase is a shame, because it would be nice to do a bit more.
Yep.
So at this stage, I am slightly tempted to take... I mean, I might be making too much of a thing about this, because I've only watched people play this game, and they made a thing about this. So I'm tempted to make a general out of our ruler now and see if we're any better.
I mean, we can make a general out of him. We don't have to send him in, right?
That's
Is there
true.
anything bad
That's true.
about just making him a general?
Don't think so. No, a monarch who leads an army. Oh. Yeah, this leader will not cost any military power and maintenance. No, I think we're fine.
Come on, let's go.
Go on, you do it.
Bam. Yep.
Oh, shit,
that's
much
more
better.
like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we should... Because
I'm
I've
happy to
never
do
done that before.
No, me
I've
neither.
always been scared in this and Crusader Kings. I've been too scared of putting my leader in.
Oh, well, screw it. This is the glory of Christopher, who incidentally dies in like 1448 in real life anyway, so...
Well, in that case...
Let's
go. Right, he's in charge of the army.
Oh, you've assigned him. Great. And 2 in the fire phase, 1 in the shock phase. Also, manoeuvre has to do with movement speed of the army and also crossing rivers and terrain penalties and stuff.
Yeah.
If we have a higher manoeuvre than the enemy, we don't get a terrain penalty, even if we're attacking them into the mountains or something.
Yeah.
Go. Good.
Let's go.
Fantastic. Ooh. The other thing I want to check. Right. Now this is where combat. I'll explain this after we've done the combat and we've seen it. But yeah, okay. Let's do it. Ooh, they tell us
Herald
about
from Poland.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Just don't
Poland.
care.
No, hover over OK. It tells you what that actually means. Poland forms a personal union with Lithuania under a Jagiellon. Sad news.
That's happened, has it?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh, because the Kazimierz Jagiellon of Lithuania has died. Our royal marriage with Lithuania has ended. Good thing we got. Does that mean our alliance
to the other thing that happened?
I guess that was the trigger for Poland getting a union over them.
Okay.
Do we still have the alliance with them? We don't.
I believe so.
They will not accept because they are a vassal under
crap.
Poland. Oh my goodness, that's horrific.
That was pretty miserable.
What a horrible start. Right, we're going to have to find friend. Maybe Austria. Should we cozy up to
Austria.
him?
No,
we've got our free diplomat. Do you mind sending him to Scotland to issue a trade embargo?
Yeah. Well, do we want him for other stuff at the moment?
Well, issuing the trade embargo doesn't keep him there. He just does it, and then he comes back.
Yeah. Okay. Issue embargo.
Yeah. Good.
Done.
Returning, and then we'll use him for other stuff.
Yeah, we can think about getting friends.
Yeah. Right. So currently it's 48 minutes for this episode. I think I'm going to pause it there, and we'll move into the next. If you're okay with that.
Yep.
Cool.
So I've paused the actual.
Right. Cliffhanger. Wait and see what happens with the rebels next go. We're playing the game now. See you next time.
Yeah.